When they said that Jared Leto, Denzel Washington, and Rami Malek were going to be in this film, and I saw the trailer, and they titled it Little Things, I didn't exactly know that they meant that quite literally.
Gracias por ver la esquina de Jody. Thank you for watching Jody's Corner.
YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Jody Joe. Welcome to Jody's Corner. This is going to be a spoiler review of The Little Things. Now, forgive me if I do not use character names, but this is a film that takes place in what looks to be the early to late, I would say the late 1980s. I can tell by the way the cars look and stuff like that. Late 80s, I would say, of a town in Northern California and Los Angeles, California, where Denzel Washington plays the character of a transferred cop from Los Angeles to Northern California, basically in the sticks. A guy who's a loner, who sticks to himself, is almost a nobody. He was a hotshot that used to be a really darn good detective in Los Angeles, but some things that led him to leave his old life behind and become this half step above a security guard. That's what he basically is in the sticks. And it's murders start to happen in Los Angeles that are tied to murders that have happened in his county, where he is now basically a glorified security guard, which brings him back to Los Angeles to dig up some of his old roots and some of those old skeletons that may be laying in the closet, with the help of Rami Malek, the new lead detective in Los Angeles, who basically took his spot. They are determined to track down the killer, who they believe is Jared Leto, at all costs. This movie is not liked by a lot of people. This movie is when you think of Denzel Washington, you're like, oh man, Denzel, Jared Leto's, Rami Malek. I saw the trailer not too long ago. I was hyped because it looks so sinister and dark and eerie and special. And it's Denzel Washington. What are you talking about? And you got Jared Leto in this thing, man. So, naturally the hype for this movie was high. Do I think that it lived up to that hype? No, this movie doesn't do that. This was a movie that I expected to be so thrilling and so sinister and so chilling, and to get an actual resolution to exactly who is the mystery man killing these poor women, to getting something that's more of a, how do we get to the point where we look at ourselves as we get so caught up in finding the bad guy, we ourselves become the very same thing we're trying to stop. Denzel Washington's character was haunted. His whole soul was dark. He was haunted by these women who have died, and one of these women who have died at his own hand. He shot a woman in the chest, and it haunted him for a long time. And it gives you little salt and pepper moments throughout, like in the morgue. The black lady who's in the morgue, who's an old dear friend of his, when he comes back into town, she's like, I'll do this one thing for you. Are you all right? Don't F up. Don't F up. Everybody's giving him the, what's going on? Yo, did you hear about him? Did you hear about him? He's known as a guy who was caught in scandal. He had a nervous breakdown, got a heart attack, and divorced, and lost a case all within 6 months. So this man really, really gave his all into his job to the point where it almost killed him. He killed a woman, and it drove him crazy. Obsessed, he really was. Rami Malek is a character who is present day of this time, where he's the detective that basically took over. He's this young, hotshot detective who is really smart and cunning and savvy, that reminded the department very much so of Denzel Washington and Denzel Washington's character himself from years back. So when Denzel comes back to the city, everybody's comparing Rami Malek to Denzel, like, oh, you guys are kind of the same. But we don't even listen, seeing these two in this film reminded me that Rami Malek was out of his depth in this film. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. He got an Academy Award for playing Freddie Mercury in what do they call it? Bohemian Rhapsody. He got his Oscar for that, but he got exposed in this movie. I got to keep it a buck. He's not good in this film. His acting is terrible in this movie. He plays this emo, weird, sadistic. He tried to create this character that the script did not demand. The script was simple. You could have been much more realistic, but he chose to go over the top into, I wonder what you're doing here. These looks that he makes. Well, don't you have anything to say? What is that? I mean, I thought that this man was, I'm trying to understand what he's taking me out of the movie with his weirdness. And this is a man who's on TVs in the spotlight, and he's supposed to be the hotshot detective, but he creeps me out like a murderer. And in this movie, I was like, dang, did this fool do all the killings? And it's like weird. And then we look at Jared Leto. Jared Leto didn't come into the film until the third act of the movie almost. It's crazy. Like, he only had probably 30 minutes of screen time in the film. And I'm like, okay, cool. It went nowhere. It went nowhere with the whole story of this film. And that is what I think is going to piss a lot of people off. But I ask you guys to understand that this film, I saw it right around the time where Jared Leto entered the film. Like, they're not going for what I think they're going for. And towards when we got to the final scene of the movie, I'm like, oh, wow. They're definitely not going for what I think they're going for, because Jared Leto was pinpointed to be the guy. All the evidence led to him. But it's weird how all the evidence led to him, but it wasn't a lot of evidence. Most of it was fascination. And it showed Remy. I understand Remy Malek's character. He was cautious about Denzel Washington's character. He was like, this dude is off the reservation. This guy's lost it. I'll never be like that. But Denzel showed him, when you're so into a case, you could lose yourself. And they both lost themselves. Rami Malek lost himself in this case. Something he never thought he could ever do, he became. And I appreciated seeing that. I also appreciated the ride. This movie was about the ride, not the destination. Did you enjoy the ride? Maybe not where we're going. We might be going to the dentist. But, it was a nice trip down the Autobahn to get here. How'd you enjoy that? In an M3 coupe, a E46 M3, huh? It's one of those situations. Did you enjoy the ride? And I would say, yes, I enjoyed the ride. That's why I don't hate this movie. That's why I don't dislike this movie as much as other people do. This was a film that could have been an A, but it's not. It dropped the ball. Don't get it twisted. Jared Leto and Denzel Washington were fantastic. Denzel Washington, with the little ability that this script gave to deliver some really powerful, riveting acting, this man, Denzel Washington, used that to his advantage, and he squeezed every last bit of water out that dish rag. I mean, this man is just an excellent actor. Even when he's not trying, it comes off good, and it's enough to destroy Rami Malek. Jared Leto really blew me away. The way he embodied that character. Oh my God, that Jared Leto beer belly he got, that bodysuit little penguin walk that he got is so, that walk, this fool nailed it. Now that's how you become a character. Jared Leto became a character in this movie. He was a out of shape, beer belly, strip club hopping, silent, soft talking weirdo, and a bought it. He was smart. There was some shit on the highway that didn't make no sense when Denzel Washington was following him. There was clearly a big metal divider in the hall in the highway, and then Denzel looks across the street. He's there. Then Denzel goes back across the street. He's not there no more. He looks across the street. He's on the other side. Then Denzel goes back. He looks back up. He's gone. Where is he at? I'm like, okay, there's some cheating shit going on here. There's a little bit of that. Just a little bit of it. Jared Leto's performance was amazing. Denzel Washington's performance was amazing. Rami Malek was in the way of this movie. We could have done without him. You should have replaced him with Gary Oldman. This film would have gotten probably a whole grade letter better if you put Gary Oldman in Rami Malek's scene. He was outclassed in this movie. And that's the biggest thing that stuck out to me. Everybody is really mad and upset. These performances were good for the most part. The characters were decent. The build up, the tension, the flashbacks. Everything was there except the who did it. Everything was there except who murdered who. Who's the killer? We don't know. We don't know who the killer is. And that's why this movie is about, did you appreciate the ride? And that's what pissed off a lot of people. It made me upset too, because when he hit him in the head with that shovel, well, pow! And I said, oh, you better get up. He wasn't moving. I said, oh my God, he better not be dead. Oh my gosh, he's dead. One shovel shot to the head, dead. What? I guarantee you, if they were in a fight, like if they were struggling, and then Rami Malek hit him in the head with a shovel, he would have took the head and then he would have kind of got up and fought him some more. But in this instance, we have to have him die quick off of an instant loss of control from Rami Malek's character, and it cost him dearly because that one mediocre shovel shot killed him. What? Does this man have noodles for brains, bruh? What's going on? I didn't buy that death. I think they could have did a better job. Hit him a couple more times, not just one hit, but maybe, and then, oh, what am I done? Then I would have bought that more. Denzel Washington came, buried the body. He kept making it was so tense when he came up to the car, said, your friend's not invited. You want to know? I'll show you. And they did that long drive up, and he made him dig those holes. He completely got into his psyche. But what I didn't fully buy is that Jared Leto so easily got into Rami Malek's psyche. For me, Rami Malek was a character who was very intact at 100% vigor. And then by the time that he got in the car and took the drive with him up north, he became 30% in control. I feel like he was two different characters because you couldn't have done that to Rami Malek in the beginning of this movie. I understand that he was following him along and he was more invested into the case, but I just didn't buy how quick Rami Malek was so quick to let Jared Leto get in his head. That was another issue for me as well. It was kind of like when when Anakin Skywalker turned to the dark side so quick in episode 3. I will do anything you say, my master. What? You were just a Jedi 12 minutes ago. What's going on? It was one of those type of situations. So yeah, this movie fumbles in a lot of areas, but this is a movie that is really about the ride. How do we get there? Did you appreciate all these scenes? And I'm gonna be honest with you, with the performance of Denzel Washington, with the performance of Jared Leto, liking these characters besides Rami Malek, combined with the fact that the score was pretty decent and it was very eerie and it was tension. You can't lie. You can't tell me that you guys didn't feel the tension of this movie. The tension was absolutely there, and that's exactly why I watch these type of movies. If you could build tension, you could build some type of feeling within me, you could move me somehow. That's the goal. And this movie did move me, but it just really let down at the end with the ending and with Rami Malek's character. Still, that's not enough for me to hate this movie. I give The Little Things a C. Mediocre. This movie is. It is what it is. It's a mediocre film. Watch it if it's free. It's on HBO Max. It's one of those. Chill with your girl. Hey, baby, want to watch a movie? Yeah? All right. Let's watch this. I think women will love this because they're into that eerie, they get scared easy and all that type of stuff. We're more cerebral with our movies, I believe. I believe women can be too, but in general, women are more like about the emotion, about is it scary, is it thrilling, and that type of stuff will do good. This is a really good date movie, I would say. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I appreciate you guys very much. Subscribe to the channel because YouTube notifications suck. Or text me, 323-594-8730. That's the number for my community. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I'm Jody Joe, and I'm out this thing, man. Deuces.